Dreamandco.
Martin Parr est une légende vivante de la photographie. À travers ses photos, il nous raconte avec un œil acéré et caustique l'évolution de la société. La particularité de ses photos sont des couleurs vives et des thèmes récurrents comme le tourisme de masse et la société de consommation. Le tout toujours avec un humour, mais un humour bien british. Rendez-vous est pris via Zoom, lui en direct de Bristol, moi à Paris. Pour Dreamandco, Martin Parr a accepté de répondre à mes questions, l'occasion de faire connaissance avec lui et d'en savoir un peu plus sur son travail.
Dreamandco, l'interview.
Hi Mr. Parr, how are you?
I'm fine, yeah, good.
Where are you now?
In Bristol, I'm in the library of the Martin Parr Foundation.
Oh great, thanks for accepting this interview with me, because I want to know more things about you and your fabulous work. But first of all, and before you became the legend of photography, tell me how it started for you, your first memory with the photo.
My grandfather was a very keen amateur photographer, so I went to stay with him when I was a teenager, and he lent me a camera, went out shooting, made prints, and by about the age of 13 or 14, I decided that's what I wanted to be.
Do you remember the first photo you took?
Yeah, I remember taking a picture of my father stood on a frozen stream in the winter of 63. Yes, so that's the first one I remember taking.
Is that where you got the déclic to become photographer later?
That was more a few years later with my grandfather.
At the beginning of your career, you work in black and white, as everyone did then, and in the middle of the 80s, you start in color. What was it change in your work that?
Well, a few things that affected me. I'd seen the work of the American photographers like Eggleston getting a show at MoMA. So it made you realize that color photography could be taken seriously. And I collected postcards of people of Butlins holiday camps by John Hind. And I liked the brashness, the bright colors. So having lived in Ireland for a few years, when I came back, I decided that was the time to change to color. Also, they just introduced a new camera called a Plowbell, which is a 6x7 camera. And this was very easy to use, so I was able to get a very big negative, much sharper pictures. And once I changed the color, I never looked back to black and white at all.
What do you like when you take a picture? What do you feel?
Well, I guess, the excitement of potentially having a decent picture, but they're very rare. It's very difficult to take a good picture. So, you always hope there's going to be one around the corner, but you never know. And most of the time, they're not.
How could we describe your style? Some say ironic, sarcastic, but what do you say?
Well, it's not up to me to say what my style is. I mean, I just take pictures. There's a sense of mischief there. It's not propaganda, but it's up to my critics and the people interviewing me to tell me what my style is like.
What inspires you? How do you make ordinary so extraordinary?
Photograph, often the use of flash makes things much more vibrant. Other than that, I just take the pictures. I can't tell you, how or why they work. That's up to you to decide.
Yes, but explain me something. How do you work? Are the people you take picture aware of it before?
I don't know. I don't ask them. I just take the pictures.
Did they ever discover themselves by chance at one of your exhibitions?
Yes. If people do that, we offer to send them a print or a file.
Oh, yeah.
And most people are quite happy to receive that. You do find a few people don't like being photographed. That's inevitable. But, you just deal with that when it happens.
I read that you have a passion for photographing boredom. Why? What do you like in boring situations?
Well, it's a challenge to get an interesting picture in a boring place. So that's what I like. How can you achieve that?
Your photography, dear Martin Parr, often explores themes like consumerism and tourism. Why do these themes interest you so much?
I think they're very much part of modern life. I'm interested in interpreting modern life in a meaningful way. So they're things that you couldn't leave out.
Is your way of working changing? For example, are there things you used to do, but today it will be impossible?
No, I don't photograph kids on a beach anymore because that's tricky. Back in the 80s when I was doing it, there was never an issue or a problem. That's probably about the only thing that's changed.
But you, who have explored the world and the society with your photos, after 50 years of work, what did you learn?
Well, I've learned to express myself through photography. So I'm very happy to have achieved that. And, there's always better photos to be taken. But it's not easy to do that. That's what drives me out there every morning I go out and shoot pictures.
Do you take photos every day with your camera?
No, I haven't taken a photo today. I was working last week very solidly. So in the winter, I have bursts of working and then a quieter period.
Okay, I was asking you this because nowadays we see that with Instagram, everyone takes photos of everything, sometimes anything, and all the time. What do you think about Instagram? Is it a potential danger for your work as a photographer?
No, I think Instagram is very good. I mean, it means anyone who's got interesting photographs can launch their own career. And of course, if we use Instagram, if we want to get a message out about a new book, we just plug into the people who are following me. And so it's an instant way of talking to the people that would be interested in our work.
Before leaving, can we say some words just about your foundation, the Foundation Martin Parr?
The aim of the foundation is to give a platform to and to showcase other British documentary photographers. So we've been open since 2017. And we've become quite efficient at doing that. And we have a big following. We have lots of members. We have a very lively bookshop. So yeah, I'm very pleased with the way it's worked out.
And to finish this interview, I know you are asked every time, but I think it's important to hear you say some tips for those who dreams of becoming Martin Parr.
Well, it's so many times I've said this on the internet. Why do you make me say it again? No, I mean, you've got to find the right subject and get obsessed with it. And then maybe see what other photographers have done, and then hopefully apply those ideas for yourself, and maybe then you can take some good pictures.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Parr. It was a real pleasure and an honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Dreamandco, le podcast.